Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Economy First on Africa TV. Africa seen differently. As guests, we have on this set Mr. Yam Timba, an economist. Hello, dear experts.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Thank you.
Thank you for honoring us with your presence on this set. You are welcome.
Thank you so much.
We are interested today in mobile banking, a great adventure born in Kenya in mid-2000. Mobile banking is a real success in Africa, a success unequaled in developed countries. 7 out of 10 people have access to a mobile network on the continent, while only 10% of Africans have a bank account. Thanks to their laptops, many of them pay their bills, transfer money to relatives, or do their shopping. Mobile banking also makes it possible to model the financial exchange that traditionally passed from hand to hand. And to regulate the informal economy, these telephone transactions are carried out through easy-to-use applications which do not require, for example, reading skills. 14 years later, there are more than 220 million users in all 4 corners of the continent. And their number is only increasing for this market, which could generate up to $1.5 billion or 870 billion CFA francs. Africa's 2 main mobile money providers, M-Pesa and MTN Money, earn between 550 million of CFA, 319 billion and $200 million for CFA francs, 116 billion in annual mobile financial service revenues. Question, Mr. Ayam Timba, what is mobile banking?
There is a lot of confusion between electronic payments, mobile money, and mobile banking. Mobile money is not mobile banking. Electronic payments are not mobile banking. Most of what Africans are using now, and you were talking about, is not mobile banking. It is electronic payments means. And we can say this is what we call globally mobile money. It is an electronic money that is used through phones, can be smartphone or features phone, and this is to ease payments mostly. When you talk about Pesa, it is not a bank, it is for electronic payments. But this seems to be addressing a real need people have. How can we use our money not in cash? Because people don't want to save or to keep cash on them, so that these electronic payment means are something that will help them keep their money safe within electronic devices and through a network that is not bank, but is electronic, is mobile money. You have money, but you keep it on a mobile form, an electronic form, but it is not bank, because the banking services are not to pay your suppliers only. Banks have something more that can be used as in banking. And we hear a lot of people saying that, oh, you have this mobile money in Africa, and then there's a trend, then you have mobile banking in Africa. No, what is mobile banking is an offer of bank services that are made completely electronic. And this is how you call it e-banking, and you can reach mobile banking when banks can help, because mobile relates to your smartphone or to your phone or to your laptop, something that you can access to anywhere you can be, and you access to your bank services. That's what we call mobile banking. and M-Pesa, MTN Mobile Money, Orange Money, all these, or POSA of Nextel, all this is electronic payment. It is not mobile banking. A mobile banking offer is an offer issued by a bank, but you can have technical partners that can be in this, but this is not electronic payment. But what people have really in their daily life and more in Africa is electronic payment services. But we foresee a development of these electronic payment services to mobile banking, because it is possible through technology now to offer a large set of banking services through the phones or the laptops or all this. But what we have now mostly is electronic payment. It is not really mobile banking.
Okay, thank you. Why do Africans' population trust mobile banking more and more?
It is because mobile banking, the cost of traditional banking services is very high, and everything that comes to mobile that uses this level of technology is less expensive. So it can help everybody to access to these these banking services. And when you have your mobile account, it is not a bank account. So it is not mobile bank. We should be very clear on that. It's not mobile banking. When I have my Pesa or my or MTN Mobile Money account or Orange Mobile Money account, it is not a banking account. But if all this can evolve to a mobile banking platform, then my account, my phone number I use as my mobile money account can become my bank account. But up to now, it's not a bank account. So there is a great interest in these mobile money services because it helps people have the first step of banking services. You can keep your money, you can pay people, you can pay your bills, you can, and you know that the role of the bank is not to help you to pay your bills. You pay your bills every day, you don't need the bank for that. But you can pay your bills, you can keep your money in that, you can save it there. So this is mobile money. But you have mobile banking, which means that people can access their bank account. They can access, they can request, they can deal with their account manager anywhere they are in the world. So this is mobile banking. You can access your account to see what, you see all the statistics of your bank account, what have been withdrawn from your bank account, anything that you can do in this, in your account, you can access to it anywhere. This is mobile banking. But what people mostly have and trust more and more in Africa now is not mobile banking, it's mobile money. You should make this difference. It is mobile money that people can access easily now, and more people are accessing to it because you eventually have, within 1.3 billion inhabitants in Africa, you have 800 million people owning a phone, owning an account number, a phone number in Africa today. So this is an opportunity for people in financial services. Mobile money is not necessarily a banking service, it's a financial service. This is to help people, this is to use technology to keep money, to pay bills, that's all. But you have mobile banking that is trusted more and more also by middle class Africans because they can do a lot of transactions based on web-based transactions online. And it is very interesting for them because they don't need to go to their bank, to the branch of their bank. And I hope within a few years, people will be able to open an account online. So a bank account online. So this is because of the cost, because it is easier, because you save time, because you save a lot of money when you can access your banking accounts from your in front of your desktop, your laptop, your computer, or your phone device.
Okay. According to some specialists, Africa is the world leader in mobile banking with a market of 1.3 billion people, the equivalent of nearly 20 people in the United Kingdom. Can we clearly speak today of a revolution in mobile banking?
Let's clearly say it, okay? Let's clearly say it. This is a revolution in the whole financial sector, and Africa must be praised for that, because what's happening, what started in Kenya and what's happening in countries like Cameroon or Côte d'Ivoire Coast or Senegal, and now more and more everywhere in Africa, is clearly a revolution. And it's the trend, because you have all this technological revolution. We have this new, what is called the fourth revolution. It's a technological revolution, the IT revolution, and Africa used it to solve a problem that we face daily. For example, a lot of countries using the CFA francs face hardships with the availability of coins. So if they can pay through mobile money, this is very interesting, because they won't need to have coins, physical coins. And it's really a revolution, and it's something very interesting, because people have less stress when they want to pay their bills or they want to interact financially. And this revolution, we hope, will go deeper, will evolve, and give us full banking platforms, electronic platforms, so that what is going now, the banking divide, the financial divide that we were witnessing a few years ago, we completely deal with it. And when we are done with this, we hope that this revolution will bring something that is people maybe don't really see now, but something that will give us a great access to technology and the opportunity to innovate, not only in services that we are offering in our markets, but also innovate in technology. What is the support that is behind the back office, where you have all this technology that make it possible to have this service and to have this mobile money and mobile banking. And I insist on that. Mobile money is not mobile banking. So that's something we Africans can be proud of. And I am proud of this. And as someone working in the sector of mobile banking, because there is something that's happening now. Banks are following the trend, and there is more and more services that are put on mobile platforms, on electronic platforms, so that people can easily access all these banking services. So we should be proud of this.
Can this payment method make it possible to bypass the low level of banking?
That's what I was talking about, the financial divide, the banking divide, because you owning a bank account in Africa is very expensive. Let me give you some figures. If you have a current account in almost all French-speaking countries, it will cost you per year 200 euros. That will be the cost for your current account. It's very expensive. This is, if you take a country like Cameroon, it's officially at the least salary legally accepted in Cameroon, that 4 times the salary of someone. So how can you afford 4 months of your salary just to pay the fees for a bank account? So, but don't worry, for your salary in Cameroon, the banks have been called not to charge on it. But it's very expensive, and that's why people are rushing on their phones for this mobile money, and they are willing to have all the set of bank services on the mobile platform. So it's very expensive. It's very expensive, and you think about all these startups which needs to have a bank account. Think about all these workers. All these workers who need to have a bank account is very expensive. So it is the low cost of mobile money and mobile banking will fill this gap. Will help us fill this gap, and this will help us also include more and more people in the formal sector, because you have a lot of people who since when you have people of 50 or 50 years old, they never have a bank account. Some are 60 years old, they have never had a bank account, but they have they have used a lot of money but never have the bank account because it's very expensive, and banks have a lot of conditions to open an account. It's so difficult to have a bank account that everybody is going, a lot of people are going mobile. So what we think is, let's hope that the young men and the young women who have led to this technological revolution, and we should be very proud of this technological revolution, because people are always saying there is nothing coming from Africa, even if everything have started in Africa. But if you look at a country like Rwanda, you should be proud. Kenya, you should be proud. You look at a country like Cameroon, you should be proud. Ivory Coast, you should be proud. We should be proud of all these people, all these things people are doing. But what we are not proud is that most of the time, it's not African companies that are operating these mobile money services. And that's maybe one of the things that are not good in this. But in some countries, you can find some local historic operators who are operating this. But what we need to do is that when we have a technological revolution like this, we should master it, and we should make sure that we are one of the beneficiaries, or the most important beneficiaries of all this. We should not only think about foreign companies, multinationals coming and operating it while we have developed the technology.
We remind you that you are on Freeka TV and you are watching Economy First. Mr. Yamtimba, what is the weight of mobile banking in the country's economies?
Not so. That was not the right answer. It's growing. It's growing. It's something that is fast growing, really. But today it's still something not so critical. But what is interesting is that you see when you have a country, I can easily talk about a country that I know better. When you take Cameroon, for example, you have in 2018, you have around 3 million bank accounts. They were talking about 3 million bank accounts. You take the banks, the microfinance institutions, around 3 million bank accounts. But the banks started their operations in Cameroon tens of years ago. But this mobile money, and I insist on that, mobile money is not mobile banking, but you have something around, not four, you have, because you had two mobile operators, companies who were running these mobile money services, offering these mobile money services in Cameroon. You had something not far than 10 million mobile money accounts. So it was not so far from that. So it means that in less than 10 years, the mobile money services outcome comes the banking service, traditional banking services, and it's something like 3 times what banks and microfinance institutions are offering in this country. So that kind of phenomenon is very, very interesting, and it's something that you should pay attention to. So when you have 10 million people using a service, it means that there's a lot of money passing through. So it's still not something like maybe 10% of our gross domestic product. In that way, it should be not less than $4 billion. So it's not that much, not yet, not yet. But we think that within 2025, it will reach and maybe outcome that level, because you have today a lot of payments that are made to merchants through mobile money. A lot of payments. So what we figure out is that within 2025, at least 40% of all, maybe one over two merchants will accept payment through mobile money. It means that we will have something that will maybe more than $10 billion. That's a huge market for a country like us. But imagine what can happen in Nigeria. Imagine what can happen in Kenya, in Ethiopia, in Algeria, in DRC. So this is something very interesting, but we still think that the most important is not the amounts. The most important is how many people are accessing to financial services through mobile money. Mobile banking on its side, it's still really something small, but it's growing too. It's growing, and it's difficult to say exactly what are the percentages, but the banks will tell us anyway. There is a huge meeting about this fintech, financial technology, in N'Djamena for the Central African region. So we think we will have some statistics coming from that, and it will help us to have an insight of what's really going on about this mobile banking and mobile money.
What collaboration exists between mobile phone operators and banks?
Tight cooperation, because you cannot, in all countries in the world, or almost all countries in the world, you cannot issue electronic money if without a banking partner. So in all these countries, anyway, in Africa, these mobile, these GSM operators all have a banking partner, because you need to have a bank that is your work you should be working with. So their cooperation is very good. The banks are satisfied because there is much more money coming in, because when you make your deposits, it's a deposit that arrives to the bank. When you will pay with your mobile money account, from your mobile money account, when you pay to a merchant, the money goes back to, or goes directly to the bank as a deposit. So it's very interesting. This kind of cooperation that makes different industries come together is very interesting, and we should explore some other kind of cooperations in various other sectors, so that we see how we can have a win-win game when technology meets services, and when there is some divide somewhere, so that people can work together and we can address some setbacks and some needs that we find in the society. I'm really interested in what's happening throughout or within these mobile money offers, and I'm very happy to see how technology can change the face of some services or some sectors of activities, and I hope there will be much more and more partnerships of this kind in our countries.
Thank you. We remind you that you are watching Economy First on Africa TV, Africa Seen Differently. Today we receive Mr. Yam Timba. Mr. Yam Timba, is mobile banking a way to banks?
It's your question is quite difficult, but let me say something drawn from what I understood. Mobile banking is, you ask if it is a way to bank. No, mobile banking is not a way to bank. Mobile banking is bank. Mobile banking is bank. But mobile money is a way to bank. And what I understand is that most of the people talk about mobile banking thinking about mobile money. Mobile money is not mobile banking. But mobile money is a way to bank. When you can offer mobile money services, you then can be able, because it's all about technology, you can be able to develop a platform, a technological platform that can have all the sets of banking services. But there still will be the possibility, there still will be some services that will be very difficult to deal with online. But mobile money is a way to bank. And as you see the trend, a lot of GSM operators are requesting a license for a mobile bank, because they have understood that they draw a lot of money. There's a lot of money coming in through their network to the banks. So why collect all this money and give it to the bank? Why not be a bank yourself? So that's why a lot of them are asking for licenses to become a mobile bank. So mobile bank is not a way to bank. Mobile banking is the new way of doing bank. That's what is really interesting in this, because you see how technology is transforming a whole profession, and people are going from classical bank, from traditional banking to mobile banking. It's as if you are going from traditional telephony to mobile telephony. It doesn't mean that mobile telephony is the way to telephony. No, it just means that there was an old way of doing things, and now we have a new way of doing things. So, but you have this mobile money, which is not mobile banking. You have this mobile money that is a way to mobile banking. So it's a way to bank, because anyway, call it mobile banking or traditional banking, is still the bank. So mobile money is a way to bank. And this is a new way people will be doing bank, because the banking divide, the gap between the population and the people who own a bank account was really wide. But all these mobile money accounts can be transformed into bank accounts and into mobile bank account. Let's just say what will happen in the next 2 or 3 years, and I hope that maybe all mobile phone operators will open their mobile bank.
Let's finish this program with this last question. Mr. Yam Timber, can we say that it allows the integration of these new actors into the formal economy?
Of course, it is in the formal economy. It is in the formal economy. Because all the operators, all the companies involved in mobile money, in mobile banking, they are all formal companies. So all this set of activities are inside the formal economy. But what is interesting is that because it is filling the gap divide, the banking divide, the gap that we had, then it is pulling all these people who were in the informal economy into the formal economy. And this is good news for our states. This is good news for all the people who are managing the economies of our countries. You will have less and less people left by the road, because they will be all using mobile money, mobile banking. They are all coming into formal economy. Anyway, you can only use mobile banking when you are informal sector, because the banks doesn't open accounts to people who are not in informal economy. So mobile banking, in principle, it is in formal economy. But mobile money is not necessarily, because anyone with his phone number can have a mobile money account. And most of these people are those who could not afford a bank account. So most of them are in informal economy. But the fact that you are a merchant in informal sector and people can pay to you using their mobile money account, or, and that's what is interesting in the relationship between the GSM operators and the banks, it is now you have a relation between your mobile money account and your bank account. It is possible. If I have a bank account, I can pay your services as someone who is in informal economy from my bank account to your mobile money account. So, and all this is pulling people. That's a way of pulling you into formal economy, because now the government, the tax services can follow what is happening. So we Africans should be proud of what we are doing, or what we are doing with this mobile money technology. It's something marvelous. We will have better statistics. We will know exactly who is trading to who and how much these transactions are generating. And that's very interesting. I asked myself, I was discussing with some people last week about the link between the currency and the mobile money. And I told them, for me, the time has come to have our own currency in Cameroon or in Central Africa based on mobile money. We will never need cash like coins, because why put money in producing this when we can have all our currency just used through our phones? So let's just have a currency that is based on it. So it's something very interesting, and let's continue to monitor all these partnerships and see what will happen within 2 or 3 years.
Thank you. Thank you to our expert, Mr. Yam Timba, for being here on this set.
I thank you.
Thank you for this great moment on the television spent together on Freeka TV, the television of an advancing Africa. It was pleasant and edifying. See you soon on Freeka TV. Goodbye.